Endurance isn't a straight line. It's a steep curve. Each distance threshold filters people out for different reasons. Past a point, this stops being fitness and becomes life management. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the I Don't Know Running podcast, where we share our experiences that make running fun and sometimes not so fun. I'm Lewis. I'm a self-admitted lazy ultra runner, and I've been busy. I don't know. I got nothing.
Yeah. I'm Mitch, and I am ready to fast forward through this weather.
You know what? That reminds me. It hit me as you were starting to do your intro. I went, you know what I saw today? The road.
Me
Pavement.
too. Parts of it.
Hey, I could not believe it. We had to take our dog to the vet, obviously, before I told you for this recording. And pulled that out onto the road, and I went, what is that? The black stuff. Pavement. It was beautiful.
It's been wreaking havoc on me.
Oh my goodness. It was sunny all day today.
It's bright. I had another doctor's appointment today.
What?
Weird. One yesterday, one today. I think that's what I do.
We are going to talk about the next big event, though, a little bit. What it looks like to accomplish some of these big feats, and specifically marathon and up. More specifically, ultra distance.
Yeah.
And that's a big window because it's anything over a marathon. But we're going to break down some numbers because it was shocking to me, the number when you put it, like it's one thing to say the percentage, and it's another thing to say the number. And typically, I think the percentage seems more jaw-dropping, but not when it came to the 100. Man, right. I could not believe it, and we'll get to that. But so we're going to talk about, number one, we're going to set a baseline, the baseline being the marathon, right? And these are some stats that were pulled. Mitch put these together from some searches and things like that from AI or basically just some searches. Said, hey, give us these numbers.
And it's not to say if you're not running a marathon, like, that's fine.
Yeah, no.
This is just where we're trying to talk about just as you move up in distance, how few people do that. It's not taken away from anything that anybody does.
Not at all.
If you're just a 5K person, just keep doing that. That's fine. Mm-hmm. Don't feel like anybody's trying to pressure you into doing something any differently.
Yeah, agreed. This is not an exclusivity thing. This is just numbers. These are just straight numbers. I think it's astounding, some of these numbers, when you look at what they are. So number one, the marathon. Only roughly 1% of the global population has ever finished a marathon. That breaks down to around 80 million people. You think that's a pretty big number. 80 million people, that's a pretty big number. But it's still 1%. And that's where I think you go, the number seems big, but the 1% seems like more big, or like more impressive.
Right.
I want to say. Does that make sense? But then when you just looked up the number of, what was a 5K? Who's done a 5K?
Yeah.
That was 15%?
Yeah, 15%. Roughly 15%.
And that's like 80, what do we say? 1 billion. That was roughly 1 billion people. And then the numbers aren't necessarily direct correlations because it's a moving kind of however you look it up and whatever data is pulling what size of the population.
Well, because I was trying to look up and say, hey, I wonder if we can get into databases. So we're relying on a lot, like, hey, what's ultra sign up show? How many people in ultra sign up have done a 100-mile race in 2025?
Yeah.
I want to know stuff like that, but that's only one site.
Yeah.
So that's not everybody uses ultra sign up.
So these are rough numbers, but they're pretty impressive rough numbers. So so let's break that back down. So it's basically 1 billion people do a 5K or more, have done a 5K or more. Of that, and then you go one more step further, that's the marathon, and that is around 80 million people. So that puts you in some pretty rare territory already, right? For the marathon. Then you jump to the ultra distance. Number one, ultra has been booming. And we have actually talked about that on the podcast. But it grew 1,676% from 96 to 2020. And it does say the 50K is obviously the most accessible for many reasons. Number one, there's tons of 50Ks. Like they're much easier to put on. It's just a little bit further than the marathon. And I love how this says most marathoners can finish a 50K with modest adjustments. And I thought, most marathoners can finish a 50K.
Yeah.
You just got to back it down, the front end.
It's different because you think about just doing a marathon and then doing a trail marathon. It's night and day.
Yeah.
And then a 50K is just a few more miles. I mean, you get out there and you get to 26.2 and you're cursing yourself. But it's not that much. It's really not that much further.
It's really not much. And I say that any marathoner can finish a 50K because if whatever pace you're doing, let's say you're training for an 8-minute mile, just back it down to 8:30. And you'll get across the finish line. Mm-hmm. I have no question about that. And then you jump to the 50-mile race. And here are some comments on that. Participation begins to drop sharply at the 50-mile. So there's a ton of people, all these 80 million roughly people doing the marathon, and you have a bunch of them that can do or will do a 50K, right? But when you get to the 50-mile.
And I asked, now when I was searching, why? Why is that? And I think it lists why.
Yeah. It says roughly 65% of unique ultra finishers happen at or below the 50-mile distance. So that's a big chunk of the ultra distance, right? So 65% or more, or 65% are at this or less, right? 50 miles or less. And it breaks down this. Nutrition. It says this is where the sport stops being about running, okay, running well, and starts being about nutrition, salt. And these are a few things: salt, temperature management, and decision-making. And that's one we have talked about, decision-making, right?
It's not just about running at this point. Mm-hmm. You gotta take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Like it's wild.
It really is. There's so much more that goes into an ultra. And I would say even just an ultra. Because I'm thinking, well, over a 50K. Man, no, even for the 50K, you got to manage it differently.
And terrain, like even in a marathon, different terrain can change everything too, though. If you say you're going to do just a marathon and it happens to be Pikes Peak,
yeah,
you're changing everything.
Yeah, for sure. Every race is going to be different, but I'm saying even a road to the same race on road, let's say there's a marathon and a 50K, you're going to have to manage it differently. Mm-hmm. You just are. And this says up to this point, up to the 50 miler, it says you can, well, I would say, I think it's even up to just the 50K or maybe the 50 miler. I think it is a 50 miler they're talking about. You can fake a lot with fitness. After that, there's no faking it. Like you got to put in the miles. That's what it boils down to.
50 milers, they generally have a pretty decent cutoff.
True. That is true.
And as long as you're not dumb, you got time.
Yes. That's exactly true. As long as you're not dumb. That's right. You can
make some really poor decisions.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like if you're not taking in nutrition or you're not drinking, you're not gonna make it.
Yeah, and I would say that holds true for the marathon. Even you have to still make smart decisions. So that's why I think it's true. Up to this point, you can get away with a lot, but after this, it's dangerous. It becomes. I mean, it's already dangerous at those other levels. Now, yeah, it compounds it. So it says the modern standard, the 100-mile anomaly. The physiology or the psychological breaking point where the population percentage becomes nearly immeasurable. This is where it really starts to get, the numbers start to really make me go, wow. So the 100-mile club, how many, I'm just going to throw this out there for people to just think about this a second. How many people listening, what do you think, how many people have done 100 mile or more? And just sit on that for a second. Number one, I'll tell you that this distance halves the field from the 50-mile level. So it takes all that and just halves it. Boom, right off the top. It says it's likely, and again, these are rough numbers because we're trying to pull from a big database and say, hey, condense this down so we can deliver this. It says likely that less than 0.006%, and that's not 0.006 times, it's 0.006% of the U.S. population have finished a 100-miler. That number, if you're wondering, is roughly 21,000 people. That is small. 21,000 people. Let that sink in.
Yeah.
Says the survival rate, only around 20% of the people who already call themselves ultra marathoners ever finish one. So of the people that have run or call themselves ultra marathoners, they've run a 50K or 50 mile or even 100K.
That, we'll get into more later. I want to talk about more later, but that's always been like, are you really an ultra runner?
Oh, for sure. But I think so. I think,
but that's like the true test. Like that was always like, that was the big hill for me to climb for a long time. I tried so many times.
For you.
Okay, so for me personally.
Yeah. Right? But I think just like to say, well, are you a real runner?
No, but that's like, when I always think about ultras, because of the company I keep.
That's a big piece though. Yeah.
I'm always thinking like, you got to at least try 100. You have to.
Yeah. I think that I understand where you're coming from, but I think if you run a 50K and that's all you've ran, you're an ultra runner. You are.
I agree with that.
Because that's
I think
number one, it's the definition of an ultra distance race is anything over the marathon distance. But yeah, I get where you are coming from with, it seems like you have to do that. You have to try to go for that. But I don't agree with that sentiment though. I think it's fine but we've talked about that a lot lately too, especially in the last year of dialing back the pressure of having to do the next thing.
Right. Well, especially now, I don't think I'll ever try to do another one. I don't think I will.
Yeah, it would be tough, wouldn't it, to try to go to that next step. But you're already, look at where you're at already from where you were 6 months ago.
I agree. I just, with those couple of doctor's appointments this week, it's really got me thinking about it.
Yeah. So anyway, getting back, roughly 20% of the people who call themselves ultra runners, so they've done a 50K or longer, ever finish 100 miles. And this is where ambition meets reality. And that's a good statement right there. So it says the DNF factor, the typical DNF rate is 30 to 50%. That's massive. 50%.
It depends on the terrain. I'd like to look at, like specific
terrain race. I mean, you do a race. You do a race like Georgia Death Race. That's got a huge DNF rate.
I was going to look at like, what's the one in Colorado? That
Leadville?
I
don't think that's
got. You don't think it's got a huge DNF rate?
No, not compared to like hotter ones. I think the ones that are hot, the heat gets you. Like
I know, but you're at elevation most of that race.
Yeah, I suppose that is a factor for sure. Yeah, there definitely it seems like when you get into the 100-mile distance, for whatever reason, the terrain becomes harder too. Terrain or conditions become harder as well. I think of some of the Florida races that there are ultra distance races, and you go, Holy smokes. That would be miserable. It does talk about success depends, and this is funny because we just talked about this on the last episode. I think it was the last episode.
A couple before.
Success depends less on VO2 max and more on sleep deprivation management, GI distress, emotional regulation, and on-the-fly problem solving. All those things are massive in the 100-mile distance.
And you can talk yourself out of a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Goes into the demographic evolution, which is women now make up basically 32% of the North American ultra runners, up from 14 in 96. Massive jump. The gender gap starts to shrink as distances increase. And we have talked about that, I believe, too, quite a bit. 50 miles, 9.13% gap versus 100 miles, which is a 4.5% gap. Suggests that female physiology may excel in long-form efficiency and resilience. And we have spoken on that. We've seen that in a lot of
But
the events.
it depends on the race. Once in a while, you'll see female take overall.
Yeah, but it's not happening at the elite level.
No.
That's the thing. It's no matter what, I still go, if a female wins UTMB or Western, I'll go, okay. There is no longer that truly is, because those other races are who showed up.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, I think that 100% you do see it does start to shrink,
mm-hmm.
but we have not seen a female win the majors. So
it's true.
It talks about sport remains 90% white in the US, which obviously is a massive opportunity for growth and accessibility. And it is inclusive, I would say, in how it welcomes in people.
Yeah.
I've never felt more welcome than at ultras.
It is a different, we've talked about that before,
Yeah.
the difference between trail running and road running.
Yeah.
Trail running, it's like everybody makes room for you.
Everybody makes room. Everybody wants you to succeed. Everybody wants you to win. They don't care. I won't go that far to say they don't care if they beat you or if you
Everybody
beat
wants
them.
to win.
Everybody wants to do one place better, but not at the expense of the other's race. So if you're racing, I think that breaks down to levels. Elite winning the race is going to be different than age groupers. I think age groupers they want the other person to succeed. Oh, you're short of gel? Here, I have one.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to see that at the elite level anywhere.
Right.
Although I have seen some elites make sure that their competitor is taken care of. Like even at the elite level in trail, in ultra.
Yeah, I think about how many races have you done where you run in with somebody? It's mostly trail runs.
Yeah, 100%. And almost never.
I have on road races too.
Yeah.
But it's not as common.
More rare, yeah. At 100 miles, you're no longer racing the course. You are managing yourself, and that is a very true statement. And then it talks about the new frontier, the 200-mile plus chasm. Distance so rare, it becomes a different sport entirely. And I would agree. Talk about slowing down, and it's a much different race. It's almost not even a race as much as just an experience. People do win, so you call it a race, but
I love the numbers on this because they call this the new 100.
Yeah, and I don't know that we've gotten there yet.
I don't know that either.
I just don't think we haven't gotten big enough numbers for the 100 yet.
I do have friends that have done 200s. I do.
I don't have anybody that I know that. I guess Laura, yeah.
And Joe, you've met Joe.
I've met Joe, yeah. Yeah. It says in 2019, only 306 people finished a 200-mile race. Again, this is roughly, right? That is roughly 0.02% of all ultra finishers.
And it's more now. I would say I would like to see 2025 200 milers.
True.
It's gotta be, it's quite a bit more because you think you got the Triple Crown and there's how many people per.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
and you have Moab.
it has boomed since then.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And then you have it is a multi-day survival, 40 to 80 hours on foot. That's
40 is that's
definitely the elite and almost nobody. I mean, that is
80 hours.
Even that's fast.
80 hours would be good.
Yeah.
For a normal person.
Yeah. 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 I don't know where that comes from. So that I believe would be a little bit.
Hallucinations are common.
Yeah.
Hey, you get it natural.
Yeah. Dirt naps, replace aid station breaks. And it's funny, you watch, and it is kind of cool to see how well Aravaipa is covering their races, like the Moab, or not Moab, Cocodona 240.
That's what I was trying to think of earlier.
Cocodona.
But that's got a waiting list of like 200 people.
Yeah, it's huge. And they cover it well, and you see people literally going, no, I had to lay down here. Like I couldn't, I needed it right then. I couldn't wait another 5 miles to the aid station.
What's wild to me is like when I paced you at Javelina, and you says, just remember, don't watch it and stay in the middle of the trail. Like the edge of the trail wants to hurt you.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm thinking about taking a dirt nap in that kind of terrain.
Not there. Yeah, for sure. Hiking becomes a primary movement skill. It ups the ante of hiking versus the 100 mile, because 100 mile, you still do a fair amount of hiking, quick hiking, uphill hiking. You're stepping it out for sure. But the 200 mile, just from what I have seen, I have not completed one, but from what I've seen from some of the videos that talk about their approach, things like that, it's a monster for hiking. This isn't running. It's controlled forward motion over multiple days. I think that some of it is running, especially at the elite level still. It is, man, they're moving. It's insane.
It is. Yeah. We'll have to remind people when Cocodona is going to be covered and to watch that. It is wild.
It is. Yeah. Even so, that now we go a little bit further. It talks about the Centurion milestone, the 100 plus club. It talks about how longevity over a single event glory, right? So one event does not make up your journey, so to speak. It's the longevity in the sport. Mm-hmm. It says the 100 event achievement. So you've done 100 events plus.
I'm in that category.
And it is the marathon or longer. It says finishing 100 plus marathons or ultras is nearly mythical. Now, we do not have that stat. I would be curious to see what the percentage breakdown is.
I would like to see that too, because I'm at 178 and I've got 100 marathons in Michigan alone, or 100 marathons or ultras.
Yeah.
I think Brian is about 100 more than me.
Yeah. He's got...
He did 50.
He's at
250, 260 range.
Yeah, he did 52 in a year. 52 or 53?
55.
55? Mm-hmm. Oh, there was 52 weeks, yeah. And so it was every week plus. Yeah, so 55, yeah.
He did 8 in 8 days as part of that.
Yeah, so that bumps you up pretty fast when you do 50 plus in a year.
There's not that many people that do 50 in a year.
It says that this is rarer than most single extreme distances to be in that. I don't think I've reached, I think I'm only at like 70, something like that. Yeah.
That's it.
Marathon plus. So I'm not in that rare category yet. Talks about consistency over talent, requires 10 to 20 year commitment to do this. Typically 5 to 10 major races per year. Low injury rate becomes the true superpower.
Yeah, because how many did I do last year?
Yeah.
0.
Yeah. Injury will do that to you. And man, think about that. Requires a 10 to 20 year commitment.
Yeah,
think about Brian. Brian has been, I don't know, he's probably in the 10 to 15 year range.
No, we started around the same time. Like a lot of our first races were the same. He just did way more than I did per year.
And how many years before he had kids? How many years have you been doing it?
I think my first race was in 2008.
I mean, think about that. That is a long time.
But I would, if things didn't happen, I would be close to that 200 mark by now.
Yeah. But this is just saying 100.
Mm-hmm.
So this is just 100. So you're way past that.
5 to 10 a year? Psh.
Nothing. And then it goes on to say the skill of not breaking. It's not about speed. And I would say, as you and Brian started to do more and more and more, the speed just was like secondary. It's like,
we did we did a double. We ran.
Yeah.
I think we ran both of them together, like stuck together.
Yeah. It's about sustainability, restraint, and long-term passion. It's anti-bucket list mentality. So just to kind of put some of these numbers together, the marathon, roughly 1%. Any ultra is roughly 0.03%. 100 mile is 0.006%. Again, that's 21,000 people. That is insane. That is so small. The 200 mile finish is 0.00009%. I'm not sure if I got the right number of zeros. It's a lot of zeros.
Not a lot of people.
Not a lot of people. And the 100 plus career ultras is immeasurably rare. This doesn't even give a percent because it's so small. So pretty rare company if you're in one of those. And well done. And again, not taking away from anything anybody has done. It's just putting out some things to show how just these numbers, how small it is and how much room there is for growth in these areas.
I see a lot of people now, though, that are doing multiples. I mean, we have a lot of listeners that are doing multiples per year now. So it's wild. You see a lot of people.
It's cool. I do enjoy the atmosphere and all of that of ultras and trail events. It is.
Well, I miss it right now. Like, think about that. How many, when you're doing the Super Slam, how many people did you see the same people at each race? Or when you're running a lot of races, you see the same people.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's just.
It is a lot. And that is, you made the point of, because I thought, man, that seems like a small number, but that is the point. A lot of these numbers are because as you go to this distance, they start doing multiple of those distances. So does that make sense? It's not that one person is doing 100. They might do 10 100s.
Yeah.
And so
once you get into this kind of insanity, it seems like that's where it's like, oh, I need a fix. I need to do it again.
Yeah. And that's true.
I got to see my friends.
Yeah. And it is not usually. It is a fix for many. That is usually a replacement for something else. So as we've talked about with some people. Pretty cool stats. Check us out on Facebook. Check us out on YouTube. All your favorite listening platforms. And that is going to wrap up this episode of the I Don't Know Running podcast. Be sure to tune in next time as we share more about what we just don't know.
Until then, happy running.